Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Linda. I'm so happy to have you with me today. And I'm thinking that if you're here because you might be what's considered a beginner in slow stitch or textile art, and you just want to know all you all the tips that you can get that will help you on your journey and to maybe speed it up a little for you. Let me tell you, I'm 77 years old. So when I started my journey of hand stitching, there was no YouTube to learn from. In fact, there was no internet. So it was a matter of watching my grandmother, my aunts. My mother hated stitchery, so she wasn't any help. But actually, my father taught me my first embroidery stitches because his mother taught him. So it's kind of a handed down skill in that way. Later, I would study different things. I would look at products in the store or go to a craft fair and just kind of look at and study how things were done. I have taken no classes, so you could say that I am self-taught. But one thing I learned along the way was not everyone was going to like what I liked, and not everyone was going to approve the way I did something. There always seemed to be a rule that applied that made what I was doing wrong. So somewhere along the line, I thought if I'm going to continue to do this, I'm going to have some rules for myself. And so the 5 tips that I'm going to share with you today are the 5 things that I made my rules by. I wrote them down, and for a long time, I kept them on my desk, and I would look at them from time to time. And they reminded me that it was okay to be me. It was okay to do my art or my style. And that's what I would like to help you to understand. Now, while I'm going to give you these 5 tips, I'm just going to be playing here with a fabric collage at the same time. The first tip I want you to do is to throw out all the rules that you know right now, all the rules that you've been told, all the absolute, you must do this, you must do that. Because those are rules someone else made up. And you know, it's always hard to work out of someone else's toolbox. You want to build your own toolbox and work out of that. So you want to get rid of all these preconceived rules, okay? It's not that they're wrong. It's not that they don't work. It's just that you don't want to make them your rules until you've got to the point where maybe you want to try that. And then if it works for you, you put it in your toolbox. You know, you create from your unique perspective. So what you see, what you like, what you feel, what makes you happy, and what you see as beautiful, those are the things you want to consider. Those are the things that will become your rules. And from those rules, you'll create tools that go in your toolbox. Okay? Okay. As you can see, I've got this first piece of scrap down here. It is definitely a scrap. Something else has been cut out of it. But there's a big portion here that can show along the edges that will be good for what I want to do here. Okay, so who says that I can't use that? All right, let's go to rule number 2. Excuse me, rules. We don't want rules. Tip number 2. Throw out fear. You know, there are no design police anywhere around. You want to get them out of your head. You don't want to listen to negative opinions. You don't seek validation from others. So you want to throw out fear. Believe in yourself and your unique approach to what it is you want to create. Okay? I hope you got a pencil and paper, and I hope you're writing these down because I really do want you to remember them. The first one was throw out the rules. And the second one was throw out fear. Okay, I had 4 pieces pulled out here. 4 pieces covers this background fabric and gives me a creamy background, but with different feels and textures. Isn't that nice? Now, one thing that I encourage beginners to do, because when they look at a piece of slow stitching or textile art, especially if it's very intricate, they're overwhelmed from the beginning. They say, I can't do that. And so you think, I don't have all the stitches. I don't know how to design. I don't do this. I don't do that. Throw out the fear. And one of the things that can help you throw out the fear is to start with something already made. Okay? And I'm going to demonstrate that. This was part of a jacket. I thought it was cool. I cut it out. I've been saving it. I don't know how long I've had it, but I'm thinking it's going to be good for this project. Another thing is about when you make a collage for a background, don't worry about what you cover up. Somebody's going, oh, you covered up all this beautiful pattern here. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about your background. It is exactly that, a background. If I wanted to use that for a focal point, I wouldn't have put it in the background, okay? So whatever you do use, forget about it. What's happening, this is going to peek out on the side. And that's just a little interest over here. And I don't have to stitch that. It's already there. But don't worry about it, okay? Now, starting with something that's already made takes a lot of the fear out of this already. That brings me to my third tip. Another thing we want to throw out. We want to throw out mediums that we don't like to work with, okay? So if there's certain fabrics, if there's certain yarns, textiles, threads, motifs, certain things, colors you don't like to work with, don't work with them. Only work with the things that you like, that you consider within your parameters and you feel comfortable with. There's always time later to add other things in as you broaden your scope and your skills, okay? All right, now, I keep pushing my background around. Okay, we got that piece. Now I have this piece also that came out of that. And look, it has these little doodads on it, and they are like flowers. And so I thought, I'm going to use that. I'm going to pull this down a little bit to give me a little bit more room. And I'm going to use this as my flower element. How exactly do I want to put that? I think I want it a little catty-cornered like that. That allows me a little room here. Whoops, I did it again. That allows me a little room here to play with some other elements and embroidery in this. In fact, I might do it like that. If you noticed, I brought this down a little bit just so I can stay within my parameters here. I told you I like to use mats to test out composition. And so if I put something on there like that, then time I finish stitching this, adding a few little elements, it'll be fine. This is a smaller look to it. I can move it over and catch it like this, which is cute, or I can move it over and catch it like this. Okay, so you kind of get a feel of the composition, and you know that, oh yeah, that's looking good, I can leave that there. Okay, easy to do. Start with something already made. Don't overwhelm yourself. Then if you just simply want to stitch around it, fine, great, that's wonderful for your first piece. If you want to get adventurous and add more, by all means do. That brings me to my fifth tip. Actually, this is the fourth one. Embrace the idea that there are no failures. There's no flops. There's no disappointments. Those are only opportunities in disguise. It's an opportunity to tweak your work, to rethink it, to alter the design, or to find a totally new pathway to get to where you want to go. Embrace the idea. What does embrace mean? It means to pull it close to your body. I think of it as pulling close to my heart. Embrace the idea there are no failures. You cannot fail at this. Okay? Whatever you end up with is your expression, your piece of art, slow stitch, handwork, whatever you want to call it. So embrace that. That's tip number 4. I'm going to be pinning this on, and as I pin the motif on top, it will catch the layers in the bottom, or most of them anyway. And I'm pinning it just to keep it in place because you know, you can't hold a piece, turn it around and around and around as you're working on it, and it not be pinned in place to start with. And then you remove those pins as you secure things. Okay. One more over here. Okay. And you might say, well, wait a minute, you didn't sew down all those pieces in the background. Well, I can definitely do that first, but I can also do it at this point because that actually saves me some stitches. I don't have to stitch what's behind the motifs, okay? So that's what I will do. I will come down these, all these edges with a cream color thread, but I have very few that's inside the perimeter now because so much of it is covered up. Save myself some work. So you can do it either way. If you want to do the whole thing first, well then by all means do that. Remember, there's no failures. There's just an opportunity to do it your way. Okay, the 5th tip that I want you to think about is, it's another one we want to embrace. Pull it close. Because I want you to embrace you. I want you to imagine for you, design for you, create for you. And don't go seeking an audience or admirers or a fan club for you when you begin. Okay? Do it just for you, not for other people. Don't even let the thought come into your head, well, I wonder if anybody else will like this. It doesn't matter if anybody else likes your work. What matters is that you love it, okay? But there is a rule here, and it works every time. When you can do you very well, you will draw admirers. You will draw an audience. You will draw a fan club. Because your confidence comes over in your work. And that's what other beginners want. They want a chance to grow. They want a chance to build their confidence. They want a chance to observe and learn. And so you will build that audience or that group of appreciative admirers but don't go seeking them. First, do you very well. Okay, this is just where I'm going to leave this today, but part 2 of this video, I will have completed something on this for you to see. And just so you can know that you can start with a simple background. You can start with something you cut out of old clothes, a jacket, a shirt. Like I said, this was a jacket. It's kind of a polyester silk fabric. And just play with it, work with it. And then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this simple beginning. And if I can do it, you can do it. Okay? It's a matter of time. I've been doing this a long time. Many of the artisans you watch on YouTube have been doing their skill for years. You can't expect to be at their level immediately, but you can expect and will reach that level and higher if you keep on doing you the way you love it. Okay? So I hope those 5 tips will help you as a beginner to jump in. Just jump in and enjoy the process. Have fun. Remember, throw out the rules. Throw out fear. Throw out mediums you don't like to work with. Embrace the idea that there are no failures, and embrace you and do you very well.